Hello everybody, welcome back to Ghostly French Toast. And I know I'm late to the party, but I want to talk about Elden Ring for a bit and what I hope to see, my personal opinions, and what I think would be really cool if they added to the game. So, enough talking around, let's...
For how else is a champion or a lord to be born?
I want to talk, before I start talking about Elden Ring, I want to bring up something in Bloodborne. The Chalice dungeons. I think the Chalice dungeons were a cool idea, but executed really terribly. And I feel like that would be really interesting to have in Elden Ring, because we know there's going to be dungeons, because that's what some of the articles talked about. There's going to be dungeons, all that kind of feel, and I think that would be really cool to have. And I feel like if they made it not like you can play it over and over, but there's like a few different Chalice dungeons that are mixed about and have different bosses, all that kind of spiel. And in the Chalice dungeons in Bloodborne, there were these things called wandering bosses, but they were never added to the game. I think that would be sick in the open world, like Breath of the Wild kind of deal. They're not wandering to say, they're all around the world, but I think it would be cool if they had wandering bosses in the open world, because there's not going to be co-op. There's co-op in certain sections, like the main like kingdoms, all that kind of spiel, but there's not co-op in the open world itself. Why not have bosses or like mini bosses from Sekiro in the open world itself that wander around? I think that would be really sick. And I think that would be interesting just because you can have different aspects play out. Like, let's say you're riding a horse up a mountain and you see a mini boss. You can get a stealth kill like from Sekiro. I think that would be sick. And talking about stealth kills, I wonder if they're going to implement stealth kills, because there's going to be stealth. And you can get jumping from above attacks. In Sekiro, you can get jump from above attacks and that basically get rid of one of their HP bars. I think that'd be interesting if they added that, but they would have to balance it with PvP. I think you shouldn't be able to do it like the Makiri counter in the mods for Sekiro PvP, where you can't Makiri counter. I think that'd be cool. You can still have aspects of the stealth combat in Elden Ring, but also have a balanced like kind of build, if that makes sense. And talking about PvP, I'm kind of upset that there's not going to be that many horse PvP. You can't have horses. I think that'd be so cool. Like, you have an army of blue phantoms charging an army of red phantoms. That'd be sick, man. I really hope they find a way to change it. If not, it's cool. It's still gonna be cool. And some other things I would like to talk about Elden Ring. I'm going to talk about the things I'm worried about, because I've been wanting to talk to this about someone. With someone. I feel like the map's gonna be kind of small. I don't know. It feels like everything's so close together. There's not that much open space in the middle, if that makes sense. There's the main dungeons, right? But they're all so close together. Because in one of the pictures we see one dungeon so close to the other, but don't get me wrong, that can just be those two dungeons, but I'm worried that the map's not going to be as large and as sprawling as they said it would. What I kind of think right now, it's going to be like Breath of the Wild kind of big. Breath of the Wild had a huge map and everything was there were biomes in between each other. I thought that was a really good aspect of what they did. But, I don't know, I'm just kind of worried. Some other things I'm worried about in Elden Ring is how long the game's going to take. Because as a speedrun, you're not going to get to all the bosses, because there's nighttime bosses, all that kind of shit in your first playthrough. It's like any other Souls game, you're not going to get to it, all that. But I'm kind of worried that, like, there's going to be, because they said you can get through half the game without fighting all the bosses. You can play through like half the game and finish it. And I'm worried that some people aren't going to experience all of it and just going to say, oh, this sucks, I didn't play through. I'm like, dude, give it a shot. There may be some really cool bosses. And speaking of the bosses, oh lord, they look amazing. Gwen shivering in his boots. The dragon's got lightning. What's he gonna do now? My favorite boss from the trailer is probably the angelic knight looking thing. And we see him actually standing like a maiden Estrella and Garvinland kind of deal, right next to each other. That's what it reminded me of, at least. And it kind of makes sense, maiden Estrella, because he looks like an angel. Like the guy in Elden Ring looks like an angel, is what I'm trying to say. And another one that I'm really excited for is the elk. I feel like it's gonna be like a gimmick boss kind of deal. I was watching a YouTube video the other day. He was like, "Oh, I believe this boss is gonna be a gimmick boss because it's flying." Something I really hope is there's bosses like that fly around that are really good, easy for spell users, and they'll give like a buff to like miracles, spells. I feel like that'd be a really cool idea to have a buff that had specific bosses that are harder to hit, like Moonlight Butterfly to say. They're harder to hit for melee characters, but really good for range, sorcery, miracle casters, all that kind of shit. I think that'd be an interesting concept to do, but I don't know. I really hope that boss is not a gimmick boss. It looks awesome. The particle effects, man. Oh, it looks so good. And that's also I'm really happy they brought from Demon Souls Remake. I don't think they brought it, but just playing through Demon Souls Remake, they had particle effects, and now that game has particle effects. I also hope it has photo mode. I didn't realize how much I love photo mode after Demon Souls Remake. I really hope Elden Ring has some sort of photo mode. That'd be so cool, man. If not, I can still get some really good screenshots, but like, photo mode would be so sick. And we know that in the world of Elden Ring, there's going to be diverse weather patterns, all that kind of spiel. And I'm excited for that. It's going to remind me of Breath of the Wild. I really hope there's like certain areas that stays the same, but like, I don't know, like what's it called? I'm having a blank. Like Irithyll. Irithyll didn't change over when it became nighttime and whatchamacallit. Not nighttime. When the dark sun was in the sky, it stayed Irithyll. I hope there's like one area that stays the same. That one pretty area, if that makes sense. But if not, that's cool. I don't mind. They'll probably still look really good. And yeah, that's basically my thoughts and opinions about Elden Ring trailer. So yeah, hopefully we get some more updates, and let's take it back to Mordecai. And see you next time on Ghostly French Tales. Bye.